Yo, what's going on, ladies and lads? Spag here. Hope you guys are all doing well. It's been a while since my last video. I've been traveling around the world, doing commentary, and I've got to travel again. But before I travel to the next tournament, which is in Sweden, I wanted to make this video. Obviously, version 1.05 has just dropped. The notes have actually come out, and it's the 10th of June right now. Tomorrow, the 11th, is actually when the patch will go live. But the patch is very interesting. Specifically because Namco said that this is going to be the final version of the game for a while. Pretty much for the entire season. Looking at the balance of the characters, there isn't much that's going to change now. So we're kind of stuck with this version of the game for a pretty long time. So it's very, very important to look at, what changes some of these characters got and what changes have been made, or significant changes that have been made to the system of Tekken 8 as well. So we're going to kind of briefly go over that. I'm not going to go through every character, but I'm going to go through the characters that I think have been changed quite considerably and what that means for the tier list. So let's just jump straight into it, guys. Version 1.05. So they said that they're going to change things like the heat burst and heat dash. So let's talk about that actually. So heat burst, now I always said for a long time that heat burst is way too strong. It's a way to steal back your turn, to get into this really, really strong state, which is the heat state, and you could even use it as a mini rage art because you were able to kill with it, if your opponent overextended with low HP. Now, let's look at what they said here. So, reduced tracking ability against opponent sidestep. This is actually something that I said was going to happen. Not a lot of people thought this would be a thing, but the tracking was pretty much a homing move. You couldn't step it. They've given us another way to beat Heat Burst, which is sidestepping. This change allows Heat Burst to be sidestepped in situations where there is little frame advantage between the players, which means that obviously if you're really minus, you're not going to be able to step it. It's just like a normal Tekken move now. You can sidestep it depending on the character. So, which is really interesting too. Like, for example, versus Dragunov, generally you want to sidestep right. Versus the Mishimas, generally you want to sidestep left. So I'm wondering, are the heat bursts going to be different depending on, which character you're playing against? So, yeah, that'll be interesting to see. But really, really happy to see that they're actually finally, reducing the tracking on heat burst. But now also, you can beat heat burst with parries and power crushes. That's huge. That is really big. I didn't think they were going to do that. So it says, unlike a regular power crush, heat burst does not power up when it intercepts an opponent's attack. So you can it's not like a normal power crush. So you can use a power crush to beat heat burst, or you can parry them too. So back before this patch, you could only beat power crush by heat burst by either throwing or doing a low. But it was really hard to do that, even if you anticipated it. Now, having a power crush to be able to beat heat burst is huge, and being able to parry it is really, really sick as well. I wonder if you could react. I don't think you can react. You probably can't react to it with a parry, but that would be broken. But yeah, heat burst strike damage can no longer cause a KO, which is huge as well. How many times we've seen with low HP, the heat burst kills the opponent, does a nice chunk of damage. That's not going to be a thing anymore. Reduce the distance to the opponent on hit. Change the opponent's behavior on block, reducing the distance of the opponent, which is good as well. So yeah, these changes were made to facilitate a more aggressive interaction, considering versions prior to 1.04 players had fewer options to counter people doing heat burst. So yeah, massive change there. Much love to Namco for making that change. Heat dash. So heat dash has been changed. I think the biggest thing about heat dash is, I think, the wall stun. So wall stun gave the opponent, or gave the player, a plus 18, the wall stagger. So they've removed that now, which is really, really big. So heat dash has been changed in that way, which I definitely welcome. And heat dash now, as you can see in the notes here, there are some moves where you use them into a heat dash, you can get a free hit on the floor. Now it says you can actually go for a tech roll after certain moves, and they're given a list of moves that you can actually do that against. So free hits on the floor, follow-up attacks will be nerfed. So for example, Devil Jin's back 3, which is his backswing blow, Kuma's back 1 power crush, maybe you're going to be able to like now side roll or tech roll, so that there's no guaranteed hit after that. So that's pretty good as well. You know, anything that kind of nerfs the damage potential. I feel like, you know, with Tekken 8 at the moment, it's really volatile in certain situations. So any nerfs to like the heat system, I'm pretty much all down for it, man. Changes have been made also to the stage gimmicks as well. So wall breaks, hard wall breaks, wall bounds, blasts, all these things. They have had their damage scaling reduced. So now obviously you're not going to be able to do crazy combo damage from using these stage gimmicks, because the combo will start scaling a lot more after doing the combo from it. Wall bounds, wall blast, and floor blast has also had its damage reduced from 10 to 5. I think the unscaled damage of 10 damage was actually, it seems like not much, but 10 damage is quite a lot, man. You know, I'm sure all of us have been hit by the wall blast and floor blast, and you notice it does do a big chunk of damage in a combo, man. So I definitely welcome that change, because at the end of the day, these stage gimmicks, they allow you to extend your combos. It shouldn't also be doing a lot of damage on its own, right? So again, a really good change there. A big change also that's been made to throws. So throws, obviously a lot of people are saying that the homing properties of throws, the tracking properties of them, shouldn't be there. They should probably go, but they haven't got rid of it. So as you can see, they say that normal throws are now treated as homing attacks. So it's like official now. They say, look, these throws, these generic throws, which can be broken with either 1 or 2, are treated as homing attacks. And every character has those. Their tracking properties remain unchanged from the previous version. So, you know, it's basically confirmation. These are homing attacks, basically. They want these throws to be effectively homing attacks, right? However, the tracking performance of command throws have been nerfed. So, like let's say for example stuff like King's giant swing, like these command throws, right? Special throws, those have been nerfed. But there are still some command throws that are treated as homing attacks, and that you can see them in the list here. So King obviously has quite a few, but you know, obviously King is a grappler, so it makes sense. I don't think his giant swing is one, or his shining wizard, but yeah, he still has some. Reina has a couple, Steve has one as well, and as well as Dragunov. So yeah, these throws here on the list are the only command throws that are homing. Now you can sidestep, which is a pretty big, I think, against King specifically. You know, being able to sidestep his giant swing is huge. I think that's a big nerf to King in general. But as we'll see, King didn't really get nerfed too much. But yeah, as it says here, the adjustment was basically there to try to increase the effectiveness of sidestepping against command throws. Makes sense, which deal a lot of damage and are difficult to escape. So giant swing really up there as one of the main ones, right? But yeah, you know, a lot of 1+2 throws. If you want to catch your opponent sidestepping into buttons and your characters that have great tracking, use throws. Throws are so important. I've been saying this for a long time. In Tekken 8, throws are so important. They can be counter hit. They can be unbreakable if you beat a power crush with it, and heat burst. They track, and there's not much risk to it unless your opponent ducks, right? So, which ducking in general is quite risky anyway. So just throw out throws as much as you can, you know, to really annoy your opponent. Also, a change they made to throws as well. Throws that will trigger stage gimmicks like floor breaks and stuff. That will also be, there'll be some damage scaling to that as well, to reduce the amount of damage that does. Because let's say, for example, you know, you get a King, he does a 1+2 throw, breaks the floor. I mean, usually that will do over half your health. Now, you know, they're gonna scale it down a little bit, so that's pretty good. And here's a list of things which can't be reversed or parried, right? So, you know, we know that in Tekken, stuff like elbows, knees, headbutts, shoulders, and stuff like that, they couldn't be parried before. Like, let's say Asuka's reversal. Asuka's reversal was always prone to these elbows, knees, you know, shoulders or whatever. But now, things which are considered airborne could also not be reversed either or parried. And there are a list of moves here that they've added in which were airborne moves but could still be parried, and now they've buffed them so that, you know, these moves can no longer be parried, so, or reversed. So there's a list here, you guys can look at it, you know, Eddie, Alisa, Hwoarang, King, king down back 4, like stuff like this. Can't be parried anymore. So yeah, that's a cool little change too. So now let's talk about the characters, man. I've talked a little bit about the system. I'm sure there's more system changes that are there, but those were the main ones I wanted to talk about. Now I want to talk about the characters a little bit. So Alisa, this is a character that I really think and thought would be nerfed quite a bit, but looking at this, they haven't decided to nerf her all too much. I'm actually thinking about using Alisa now myself. I think the character has too much when it comes to her movement. She's moving like Tekken Tag 2, Tekken 6. It doesn't make sense to me, but just a couple of changes here that really make too much of a difference. Asuka got a few buffs here as well. I think one of the main ones being probably that forward 2. I guess now she can just get a combo no matter what. Like a big combo, because they've reduced the amount of recovery from when she goes into her new stance or her new install. But generally speaking, I don't know if she got all too much. Just a bit of damage changes here. Tornado after the forward running 1+2. So yeah, there's quite a bit of there's quite a bit of changes here, which I think the Asuka players will definitely like. She already got buffed before, and now she's been given a few more. Azucena. So Azucena, I don't think she got anything too crazy as well. But one thing that I don't like that she got was the fact that now down forward 1-4 into hold back can put her into back 10 stance. So that's crazy to me, because I already complained about the fact that she could go into a high counter hit launcher, a mid option. She could go into her lib stance, and now she can go back 10 stance. I mean, her down forward 1-4 is definitely one of the best down forward ones in the game. This character is a mix-up machine, and even though she's been nerfed, I still think the fact that she's kept her forward 1+2, her high power crush heat engager, the character is going to be probably, we're going to start seeing a bit more Azucena now with these buffs that she got. And the fact that she didn't get nerfed again. But the only thing I would have changed with Azucena would be her forward 1+2, which didn't get changed, so fair enough. Brian's been given some buffs as well. I don't think anything too crazy, but just hitbox changes and stuff, and a little bit of recovery here and there. But again, Brian, I think, is in a good position right now, so yeah, nothing too crazy there. Claudio, all I've been seeing from Claudio mains is just complaining. Now the character has been buffed a little bit, so yeah, I don't think we're gonna see much complaining from them. Hopefully, especially now Morgul just won a tournament, so yeah, I think Claudio's totally fine. You know, it says here that Claudio has undergone adjustments to improve some unstable areas and expand the variety of aerial combos. Specifically to 2-1-2, they've changed to allow for for bigger combos, because now it does the strong aerial tailspin. So yeah, it's cool. I think Claudio will be a bit more fun to play with now with that. Devil Jin. Obviously, there's been a lot of Devil Jin players that have been complaining about this character, that he's not strong, he's not good, he's bottom 5. Absolute BS. That character is not bottom 5. If you have a hell sweep forward 4-2, you have jabs 1-1-2, you have a mid homing launcher in heat. I mean, you can't be a bad character. But they have buffed some things and nerfed some things. So specifically, the biggest nerf would be to forward 4-2. Reduce the distance to the opponent on block. And I wonder if they've reduced the range of it as well. But forward 4-2 has been nerfed now. That strong mid. Looking at it as well, they've got laser scraper. So a bit of a change to that too. Or certain times it would whiff. Now it won't whiff. And Morning Crow 2 now has been nerfed a little bit, so that it's reduced to tracking. So I don't think much changed to Devil Jin, but maybe if anything, he probably got nerfed, because of that forward 4-2 change is probably quite big. Okay, Dragunov. Dragunov obviously has been one of the best characters in the game when the game released. I still think he does a lot. He's really, really strong. But there have been a couple changes, I guess. Nothing too massive, but for me, I would have really wanted to see QCF4 not hit grounded. I think that's a move that is doing too much as well, but they haven't changed it. They've nerfed back 4, which I don't even think is that crazy of a change. I think the only way they could have nerfed back 4 big was if they made it slower, which they didn't. It's still 14 frames, so yeah, Dragunov pretty much unchanged. Nothing big at all with Dragunov. And here's something that doesn't make sense to me at all. When it comes to Eddy, they said that Eddy is a character who excels in opening up the opponent with a series of mid and low attacks. Blah, blah, blah. But it says that However, some of his moves had low risk, causing an imbalance between risk and reward that was not intended. Eddy is a high risk, like high risk reward character. I wouldn't even say it's a high risk, high reward. I think it's a risk. He's a risky character. The only thing that was not risky was forward 4-3. And as you can see, they made forward 4-3 from -13 to -14. So they've changed that low now to be -14. Some characters will be able to launch it now. But the biggest change, very unfair change, back 3-3 and Walrus 1-3 are now launch punishable. -15 on block. I don't think I'll play this character. I think after this change was so unfair. I think that I won't play Eddy anymore. That's crazy. That is crazy. -14 to -15. It is now launch punishable. That's insane. And people will say, oh, back 3-3 is counter hit confirmable. Maybe it is counter hit confirmable. You have to be very, very good at counter hit confirming though for that. But -14 was still risky. -15 is unfair, I think, especially for Walrus and 1-3 as well. I don't know. That's my opinion. They even nerfed Walrus and while standing 1-3 so that it was an aerial state instead of a full launch. So it wasn't even doing that much damage. But yeah, you know, Eddy's been given quite a few nerfs here and there. One buff, which is that down forward 4 low, is now -12 instead of -13, which is cool. But not a fan of those changes at all. Now, I don't know how Feng keeps getting away with not getting nerfed, but he got away with it again, man. No significant change to Feng at all. You know, he's just little baby things, you know, like, oh, 3-3's damage has been changed from 18 to 10. Oh, no, you know, like, it's still jails, you know. Forward 1+2, whatever, I don't care. Like, back 2-3. What the hell is back 2-3, bruv? Like, you know... Like, what is going on? Back 3 has been changed as well. Expanded the hurt box. Okay. Fine. Cool. What about back 4? What about down forward 3? So up forward 2, reduce the distance to the opponent. That's the one thing that could be big. Up forward 2, the sidestep punch, reduce the distance to the opponent on block, which means that maybe it will be punishable now. Maybe because it's -10 or something, -11, -10. We might be able to punish up 4-2 now, which is good. But back Kenpo still the same. Down 4-3 still a safe launcher. You know, safe mid launcher. QCF 1+2 got buffed. Damage buff. Just generally, these are not significant changes. Feng is still going to be one of the best characters in the game, I think. 100%. Alright, Huarong. So, Huarong, let's see what the notes were. Known for powerful rush attacks, utilize a variety of kicks. Supplementary elements such as power crush and low attack have been particularly challenging for many players to counter. So, looking at Huarong, the biggest thing that he needed to get nerfed was down 3-4, down back 4. These kind of lows that he has, which are very, very safe to use. Down 3-4 has a mix-up where if you try to punish it when you duck, if you try to punish with a 14 frame move or slower, you'll get counter hit by the flappy kicks and you're dead. He also has a 10 frame counter hit launcher with the 2 jab into blah 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 blah, does a ton of damage. Down back 4 is impossible to punish as well consistently, unless you go for a dick jab, which is not a great punish. So I think that certain things like his lows should have been more punishable. But, so let's see what they've done here. Down back 4. Fixed issue where immediately after this move hit, the opponent could not sidestep. So they haven't really nerfed down back 4 the way that it's supposed to be nerfed, in my opinion. But, yeah. Huarong, generally unchanged, I think. You know, he hasn't really been given anything too crazy. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's something else. But it doesn't seem like they've done what they were supposed to do with this character, in my opinion. I think that he should have been changed in some other ways. But I guess they're keeping him around the same. So Jack has been given some cool buffs as well. The running 1+2, the running charge that Gigas used to have, has now gone from +3 to +4, and that matters, guys. One frame can make a huge difference. As I said with the Eddy change, Eddy now is launch punishable for his back 3-3 just because of one frame. One frame of plus for running 1+2 can make a massive difference because that means that certain moves that Jack has will be unable to be sidestepped. Let's say down back 1 or the 2 jab. Who knows? Maybe after this change, the 2 jab will be harder to sidestep because of that, and that makes a massive difference at the high level. So yeah, big change there. While rising 2-4 and Gamma Howl 4. So these are all been changed from +3 to +4, which is cool. All of his throws have more range now, so that's awesome too. You know, Jack has a very, very solid throw game, which needs to be utilized. And you know for sure, man, these guys like Joey Fury, Anakin, Joe Crush, these Americans are very strong with the Jack, man. And you got Mo Il from Korea. We haven't seen a lot of Jack players. I want to see more guys playing Jack. If you guys are watching this video, man, play Jack. Trust me, you will definitely enjoy him. And then a couple of more changes here just for hitboxes and stuff. Alright, looking at Jin. Now, Jin probably has the community of the biggest number of down players in the Tekken community right now. People are saying the character's not good. Oh, he needs to get buffed. Da, 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 da. No, the character is very strong, especially in the right hands. We're seeing it with a lot of Jin players. Rai from Saudi Arabia, CBM, Book. These guys, they're super strong. They show you how good this character can be. But one big nerf is Forward 4-2 no longer has the hitbox that it does. It said that because sometimes you get hit by forward 4-2, the fist is nowhere near you, bruv. Nowhere near you. So I think what they've done is they've reduced the distance to the opponent on block, which is good. So it hasn't got the pushback it has anymore. But also, I think it'll have less range because sometimes you just get hit and it made no sense. So forward 4-2 was a big change that needed to take place, and they've changed it. So good on Namco for that. We have Jin-Kazuya. Jin-Kazuya has, who started off really, really strong in Tekken 8 and then got some nerfs, and now people stop playing her. Now she's got some buffs again here and there. Generally, it'll be to her recovery because she is a chip damage recovery type of character. So they made some changes to some of her moves when it comes to that. So it's all about health consumption. A lot of her health consumption stuff has been changed with like her 4-2 1+2. And you know, as you can see here, all of it's about health consumption. So even the notes talk specifically about her unique abilities and the healing and stuff. So they've made a bit of changes here to that. I don't think that they're not huge changes. So forward 2-2 now does tornado upon an aerial hit, which is interesting. That might change her combos quite a bit. She might get some pretty cool combos because forward 4-2 has a lot of range. A lot of range. So forward 4-2-2 might really help her with her combo versatility, which is a big change. That's a big buff. So forward 1+2 has also been changed from 30 to 32 damage. It's a good move too. It's like plus on block, does chip damage. Running 3 has been changed as well. Full crouch down 4-2. So the combo damage has been nerfed. That was good because you get guaranteed whilst victory afterwards. So there are some changes here that are quite significant, quite a lot of changes to her stances. But generally speaking, I'm looking at it just on first look, it doesn't look like there's anything there that will make it too crazy, you know. Nothing too insane. But yeah, Jin-Kazuya definitely, I think overall probably came out on top if I'm looking at this forward 4-2-2 and a couple of other changes. She hasn't been changed too much, but I'm excited to see how that works out. So Kazuya was one of the characters that people said, that Namco said, sorry, was going to be changed and given some buffs. And it looks like he has been given quite a few. I think the main thing people wanted was consistency on his combos, like the down forward 1. Apparently down forward 1 was really, really difficult hitting combos. So I don't know if they changed that specifically. They might have. Yeah, the downward hitbox size of the first second expanded primarily to stabilize behavior when using aerial combos. So they have done what the Kazuya players wanted. This was the main thing Kazuya players wanted, and they got it. But of course, he's also been given some other stuff as well. So yeah, his devil form has been buffed, so it doesn't take as much heat as before. 1-1-2 has been changed as well. Decrease the distance from the opponent. Because sometimes when you do 1-1-2, the second one would whiff, and then you block, the opponent blocks the 2, and all of a sudden you'll launch punishable and you're dead. So that's a big change too. These are kind of like changes to the consistency of the character. So yeah, there was quite a few changes here, man. There's quite a few changes, but I think the biggest one would be just the consistency. Like I said, I'm not going to go through everything, but yeah, Kazuya has been changed now, so he's definitely a more consistent character and a stronger character overall. And it looks like his devil form has been changed quite a bit as well, so that, you know, he doesn't take as much heat from doing certain enhanced moves as well. So his heat game might be stronger now too. So I'm excited to see how that works out for Kazuya. I think Kazuya players were definitely struggling a little bit, so let's see what happens with this new Kazuya. And here we go, guys. Here we go. Now I was not expecting this at all. I was not expecting this at all, guys. King did not get nerfed nearly enough. Now I don't know what this is. Apparently now King can do something called Beast Step. From doing forward, forward, neutral, down, down, forward. So he might have... He might have a wave dash now. I don't know if that's what that means. But King with an easy wave dash is... That's scary. I'm not sure what that is, though, to be fair. They've buffed quite a few of his moves. But the biggest things that I want to nerf for King was... Forward, forward, neutral 2. The low being more than -13. And the power crushes being way more... punishable. And it looks like here's one of them, the back 3. They've changed it so that it's got less tracking. The damage has been changed from the follow-up, but I don't know. I think that it should be way easier to punish, but -13 or something, right? Not the best change there, but hey, at least it's a nerf, right? They have forward 4 neutral 2. So instead of it being +7, it's +5. The damage has been changed from 35 to 30. But again, it's not more than -13. It's still -13, which is insane to me, bro. That's insane. It's actually insane. I don't know. Yeah, that's it. Like, no change to down 4-2-1. He should not have a 13 frame counter hit confirm launcher. They haven't touched that at all. King is a grappler, and but he's got better counter hits than most counter hit characters, man. It's crazy, but hey, King players, you got away with this. You got away with murder, literal murder. Now, another character that's been a little bit controversial because of rank 2 recently, and this is a character I've been playing for months now, is Kuma. Now, Kuma and Panda, specifically the war combo, everyone's been complaining about it because it does a lot of damage, and even I laugh because when I get a launch, I know that I'm going to be dealing a lot of damage, but I don't know if he needs it, but, you know, it's helpful for Kuma. They haven't touched it. They have not touched the... They have made changes to down forward 1 for tracking. So they've actually buffed it. But they haven't changed the combo at all. So yeah, Kuma is basically unchanged. They haven't really touched him. If anything, he's been buffed a little bit, but... Yeah, Kuma and Panda were not subject to balance adjustments, only unintended behaviors corrected. So that's it. You heard it from Namco yourselves. And I by the way, I really like the balance direction notes as well from Namco. It's cool to see what they're thinking. But what the hell are you thinking about King, bro? But come on, dude. Come on, man. So Lars was also not subject to any balance adjustments. And when I was talking, I was doing a stream yesterday talking about Lars, and I think Lars is in a good place. Den 3 is obviously really brain dead, and a lot of his stance mix-ups are really annoying to deal with, but I don't think he's broken. I don't think he's OP. I just think he's annoying. Lars is just annoying, you know, and it's okay to be annoying. Just, you know, that's it. So just a couple of hitbox changes, that's it. Nothing too crazy. So this is martial law. Martial law, the biggest change to martial law was that now slide into the 1+2 nunchucks. I don't think that that it'll knock you over now. It won't flip you over unless you have heat. 1+2 was quite abusable. It was a 16 frame counter hit launcher, and it was a launcher in heat. They've kept the heat 1+2 nunchucks the same, but the nunchucks without heat is different now. So yeah, you can't loop the slides into 1+2 anymore, which is a big change. So I like that. I still think Law's going to be really strong though. His combo damage is crazy. His combo versatility, wall carry, everything, it's really good. So Law players shouldn't be too upset. I think that their character's still strong. Lee is a character that not many people know is actually one of the strongest characters in the game. Lee players will downplay all day, all night, and I don't care. I'm not having it. I'm not falling for it, guys. I've been around you Lee players for decades now, and I'm not falling for it. Okay, I am the one that will call you guys out. Your character has every tool that he needs, including a high evasion down forward 1, bruv. 10 frame counter hit, knockdown, wall splat. Counter hits coming out of his arse. He's got everything, and they haven't really changed it much either. Like all of it looks pretty similar to how he was before. Nothing too crazy. So yeah, if you're Lee, you're probably pretty happy with keeping your overtuned character. So I've been seeing a lot of people talk about Leo, about how Leo is really underwhelming in this game, but I don't think Leo is weak. I think it's just because a lot of other characters are stronger and better to use. But you know, a big buff to down 1. I think down 1 is one of the best moves that Leo has. It's been changed in Tekken 8. It used to be counter hit launcher before, but now you can see that the counter hit has been changed, so the opponent doesn't get knocked down. Instead, gives you plus 13. So yeah, I mean that's pretty good. Leo down 1 buff. We've got a change to back 4-1 as well, so you can get follow-up attacks after on counter hit. We've got some other changes here too as well to just damage, like a lot of damage changes, decrease, increase, blah 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 blah. So yeah, nothing too insane when it comes to Leo as well. But Leroy obviously had been given some nice buffs recently to the point where he actually became a lot better of a character. Some people putting him in top 15, top 10. Does a lot of chip damage now, but you know, I don't think that there was, yeah, as it says here, Leroy hasn't really undergone any significant changes because they've already buffed him. The focus have been addressing minor issues and fixing behaviors. So yeah, nothing too crazy there with Leroy. Lily though, Lily has gone through some changes because I was playing Lily for about a week or two, and I could tell from the very beginning that this character was too strong. I took it obviously 1 EVO Japan afterwards as well and showed how strong the character is. Feisty Rabbit is way too safe of a mix-up. And specifically the Walla, the QCF3. And specifically, I think they have nerfed it now. So instead of it being -9, it is now -11, which is huge. Now, if you block that Walla move, the Lily player will get punished for it. -11. Make sure that you are punishing that move. It is no longer safe. But yes, stuff like a Feisty Rabbit has been changed, but not changed the way I wanted it to be changed. I would have liked to see the low be more punishable rather than, you know, what they've done here. I think they've just changed the frame advantage of the move. So from +2 to +5, to +4, +7, remove the wall stagger effect on block. So they have still changed the Feisty Rabbit, which is good during heat, the heat Feisty Rabbit. So it's good. But yeah, what else? I think the main thing is going to be the Walla. That move has been changed. What else? We've got back turn 3-4, which is a high crushing mid that knocks you down. When the attack is blocked, both the player's and opponent recovery has been increased by 4 frames. The change is to increase the window of confirming the situation, making it easier. So the block stun on the 3-4 was really quick, so it was hard to punish that string sometimes. But now it's going to be easier to punish that string, which is huge. Another good big change they've made. So yeah, Lily has been nerfed. I still think she's going to be really strong. really strong. There's so many things that haven't been changed, but they've changed some problematic things. So I'm really happy about that. So here we go. Nina has been changed, primarily focusing on fixing unintended behaviors. I think that they should have been focusing on gutting this character to the ground. I think Nina is a character that should never be top tier. And she is super top tier. Perhaps one of the best characters in the game. And looking at these adjustments they've made, nothing too crazy. She is still going to be maybe the best character in the game, even after these changes. But I'm hoping for at least the next patch, whenever that comes, that Nina will be gutted, man. Because that is, yeah, not the best. So Paul has been given quite significant buffs. He probably came out as the winner of this 1.05 patch. And then one of the biggest changes is now forward 2, which is a heat engager, is now from 14 frames to 13 frames. So that's a new punish that he has, which is kind of crazy. I don't think he needed that, but they've given it to him, so all Paul players will be very happy. By speeding up the attack to 13 frames, it becomes one of the fastest moves that can lead to an aerial combo from a heat dash. Ay. When in heat state, the threat of a punishment combo from this move should make it easier for Paul players to apply offensive pressure. So there has been some damage changes, but that's a very minor thing. But man, that is huge. Forward 2 being 13 frame now, which means that it can punish hop kicks and things like obviously -13. That's big. Forward 4 has been changed as well. Damage, forward 1+2, the hammer move now does chip on block. So the behavior of the opponent on counter hit has been altered to allow for follow-up attacks. He's got a new move, forward 1+2 hold. So the hammer of the gods, the forward 1+2, now he can hold it. And when Paul enters heat state, hold moves are powered up, and this move will also benefit from that. So yeah, that's crazy. I don't know what that's going to do. I'm scared. I think everyone that doesn't play Paul is scared right now. about that. I'm definitely looking at what's going to happen with that. Up back 2 has been changed as well. Up forward 2 has been given a damage buff. While Rising 3 has gone from plus while Standing 3 has gone from +3 to +6. Like, honestly, yeah, the main thing there was the forward 2 and the forward 1+2 changes. I think that's pretty crazy. During sway, down forward made deep dive executable from sway. Okay, that is good too. Yeah, so Paul definitely been given a lot of buffs. So Raven already got changes before in 1.4, but I don't know. I haven't really looked into Raven all that much, but it looks like he's got some new stuff. He's still a character that no one knows how to fight against because he's so different to how he was before. But yeah, Raven just been given a few buffs to his hitboxes, nothing too crazy. But maybe there is something crazy. You guys can tell me. Now Reina really needed to go through a lot of nerfs, but they haven't really done that here, I think. So let's see. Expanded the hurt box on these moves. Removed crouching status. There's a ton of stuff they needed to change with her. Down forward 1-1 hitbox has been changed. Forward 2, which is probably the biggest culprit right now for Reina. That move needed to be changed, so now you can sidestep it easier. So forward 2 can be stepped easier, but I mean forward 2 is a move which is hard to sidestep anyway because of the forward input. It's one of those things that I'm hoping you can step it easier, but I don't know. I still think it's gonna be hard to sidestep. They've changed the stomp into the follow-up, doing a lot of damage. It still does a lot, but it's been changed from 24 to 20 damage because that last hit did way too much, and I still think it does way too much. 20 damage is a lot of damage, but you know, it is what it is. A lot of Sentai stuff has been changed as well, with hitboxes and blah 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 blah. But yeah, since the Hexagon power crush has been fixed so that like the first hit, it's not possible to escape throws. Okay, so using throws against Sentai might be a good option now too. Well, okay, we'll see how that works out for Reina, but I think Reina definitely got away with it. It could have been given a lot more. So Shaheen has also been really popular in tournaments recently. I think that's because he has a really solid full crouch mix-up and got great punishment. He's got good heat system stuff too. So looking at Shaheen, let's see what they've changed here. Behavior of the opponent has been modified. So forward 2-3 his punish has gone from +5 to +20. Wow. That's a pretty big that's a pretty big buff. So what's been nerfed? Down 4, not much of a nerf there. Active 4, the power crush. So what's happened? Behavior on block, reducing distance opponent, attracting abilities because now you can sidestep them easier. Reduce the attack hitbox. So they haven't made it slower, they just made it easier to sidestep, which, you know, these high power crush heat engages needed to be changed a lot, and they have. And we'll see that with Victor 2 in a bit. So the slide expanded the hitbox, certain attacks with whiff, blah blah blah. Change the opponent's behavior on block, remove the effect that induce war stagger. Okay. So yeah, I mean, Shaheen also not really gone through too much of a change. This hold input into the 2, that's his block stun. So increase the opponent's stun on block by 2 frames, change the block stun to +4. This adjustment aims to improve offensive opportunities when not near a wall. Okay, cool. So that's a pretty big buff, right? Interesting. So Shaheen has been given some good stuff. So Steve has a new move. Holding back allows the option to return into a standing position. So that is good because sometimes Steve was stuck in stance, so that it was really easy to go for certain like rage arts, power crushes to beat Steve's options. Now he can choose whether or not to go into stance, which is really good. I think that's the main thing that I've been seeing that makes Steve plays a bit more happy. And they've changed a few things here too. Startup attack on the crouching down forward 2 has been changed from 18 to 16 frames. That's pretty good. Sonic Fang can be executable from a while rising position. Wow, okay. So you got while rising while standing 1+2, which is a new punish. A new punish, okay. So instead of doing while standing 1-2, now you can do Sonic Fang from crouch, which is a new 14 frame while standing punish, which is good too. Steve, I've always been a fan of watching Steve plays. I like watching Steve, so for me, I don't mind that he's been buffed. I want to see more Steve players out there, man. So I'm happy to see these buffs. They're not massive, but I think they're enough. Steve players never really need too much to be happy, so I think that's good. Victor, however, there was some changes that needed to be made to Victor, specifically back 1+2, the power crush, and running 2. And those are what I'm going to talk about. So if we see here, the back 1+2 has, here's the changes they made to it. Tracking ability has been reduced, so it's got less tracking now. The forward movement has been reduced, so it has less range, less tracking, and it's slower. It's gone from 15 frames to 19 to 20 frames. So they've definitely nerfed the hell out of that high power crush heat engage. It was super abusable before, not as abusable anymore. And then obviously running 2, that's the other one as well that's been changed. So running 2, they've actually buffed it. That if you hold down or 3+4, you can go into the EI stance on hit or on block. I don't know how big that is. Like, do you want to go into stance on hit? Like, maybe, but they've actually buffed running 2 now, so you can do that. But in another way, they've nerfed it because they've changed the damage from 30 to 21 damage. It's actually slower now from 16 to 18 frames. The behavior of the opponent on hit has changed, but I don't know what that means. Like, is it gonna leave? What does it do now? Probably gonna just knock you down and not send you flying. I don't know. But there's quite a few changes here. Now it's also gone from +5 on block to +2, which is huge, man. That's a huge nerf. They have really nerfed Victor quite a lot. So yeah, Victor, GG's, man. I think he's definitely been given some stuff here, but that is a massive change. That running 2 change, the back 1+2, them being nerfed has made Victor definitely a weaker character, and I will definitely die on that hill. They've buffed his stances, which is good because they want him to be more about stances and less about spamming, which I think all of us can appreciate. Now, Ling got no changes. She needed to have her hypnotist stance changed, nerfed quite a bit. Her damage needed to be nerfed, but they haven't changed it. She really didn't get anything here, man. Nothing got changed. So Ling plays, still carried. You can still be happy. Your character is still busted. And here's another busted character, Yoshimitsu. Even Yoshi players were hoping that Yoshi was going to get nerfed, but he didn't get nerfed. Actually, if anything, got buffed. The things that needed to be nerfed were 1-1, spin, and the flash. They haven't made flash more punishable, they haven't made spin more damaging, and they haven't nerfed 1-1. Instead, they're giving him a lot of buffs, which is not cool at all. Change to a homing attack as well, so he's got some homing stuff. I mean, I don't know, dude. I think Yoshi might be top 5 for me in this game at the moment, and I'm actually going to pick up Yoshi now. His character is not playing the game, dude. And finally, Zafina. Zafina only got a couple of changes because she already got buffed recently quite considerably with her running 1+2. But yeah, nothing too crazy, just a bit of behavioral changes on her Scarecrow and her Waruza 1-2. Waruza 1-2 actually is a bit of a change because they've nerfed damage, but now the move actually just fully launches you in the air. So if you do it at the wall, you can get like a bigger combo, I guess. So it is a buff and a nerf at the same time. But yeah, either way, guys, that's going to be me going through all of the stuff. I know it's a bit of a long video here. But yeah, I just wanted to give my thoughts on each character and kind of the changes they made to the game. Now, I'm going to be actually traveling now, so I will not be home for a while. But I do plan to release another HeatSpeak episode. I'm just thinking about who I'm going to get on as guests. If you have any suggestions, definitely let me know in the comments. And yeah, man, look forward to some more Tekken esports. I'll be doing some commentary now for some events, so I won't be home. But, you know, I'll see you guys soon, hopefully for another video, man. Until then, guys, take care and peace.